welcome back to another exciting game of Lion Rampant. I'm freaking pumped to do this. I've added back, well, we got more forces on the table, and it made the table bigger. So I'm kind of excited. This will be a battle between the forces of Swathford, trying to have like a border dispute into Walden, but you've got the army of Kineallen that's kind of moved into Walden to help out. So this is just basically going to be a battle like that, where each side will have 2 farms that'll be their home farms. You get these exciting fields that I've cut up doormats basically to create. I'm thinking about getting little green pieces and putting them down the middle to make them look like crops. I've seen some of you guys do that, and it looks freaking awesome. I think I'm going to have to jump on board with that. But so each of the sides, I'll get a better look at that in a little bit, has 2 farms that are kind of marked as their own. The objective is to control the other team's, one of the other team's farms, or both, you know, hell, and keep control of your own at the end of the opposing player's turn, and you'll get a point. So we'll talk about, you know, I'm just in my head because I never trialed this one. This is just something I just pulled out of the old yin yang and said, hey, let's give it a whirl. I'm going to go for 20 points. I'll keep track of that. If it gets ridiculous and we're nowhere near like 5 after playing for 3 weeks, I'll definitely modify some things. And it might just be, you know, everyone just dies trying to cross a bridge. So that's the other thing too. So if it gets to the point where it's a beatdown, I'm not afraid to. I'm never a big fan of a team beating the hell out of the other team. I start feeling bad, so I will. We'll end it if it becomes. We'll throw in the mercy rule basically if it gets too bad, as usual. On the map of Doom, we got old Swathford attacking Walden. Forces from Kineallen have moved in here like they were a couple weeks ago. Last week's battle, you see 2 checks there. Walden's got 2 successful attacks into Bournemouth, 1 more, and they control that barony, so they can add that on to their. Woo! It'll be the first time we've had one get annexed. Just like an overview of the whole shebangy bang. The table is, well, not table, the actual battlefield is 2 of my mats turned sideways. So it'll be, let me get this right, 14 foot long, 5 foot across. So if anyone wants to ask, so it's nice sized. Gives me a little bit of room on the borders to do some housekeeping with forces, stuff like that, and put stuff down and just kind of have a drink on the table or something. So lets me do that. So we've got a 1 farm over there in that corner, which will be Aurelian. Got the river that is impassable except for the bridges. I've got some areas of forest that will be, you know, cover, or if you go 4 inches in, you can't see. There's a second farm there. It'll got some hills in there, which you can probably notice from up here. There's a 3rd farm here. Nothing says you can't shoot arrows across the river too, so I don't know if I'm sure someone's going to do that. And there's the other bridge there, and then the final Timorden farm is here. So yeah, we'll go over forces. I am doing a little bit of a modification using a kind of a black powder divisional commander type thing. I do have a 2nd leader on each side that has 3 rerolls throughout the game, but also has the 12-inch kind of aura around them that'll add on to courage checks and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's just something I'm adding on, just because these forces, like a normal game of Lion Rampant, from what I've read, it's like 24 points, and these are like 39 points. Also, I've found a way to use the influence from Infamy. Instead of going into force morale, I'm allowing a positive to spend points on the leadership characteristics. So Baron Hamel Stravis of Kineallen has won 2 battles and has a +2 influence, so he actually bought the commanding leader skill, so he gets actual 2 rerolls. So that's going to be a little advantage for the forces of Timorden in this battle. And we'll go over forces, and then we'll get to beating the heck out of each other. I'll do the usual movement. Can get a bit I mean, it's cool, the dice rolling and trying to get everything, but we'll just do an update afterwards and all that stuff. Otherwise, I think this battle will end up being like as long as some of my BattleTech games. So, but that's okay. And then when it's real crucial, of course, I'll show you guys. All right. So for the forces of Tymorden, it's that graphic just showed you. I love that horn playing. It makes me happy. This is Baron Hamel Stravis. He of Kineallen. He's got that commanding leadership skill, so he gets an extra reroll. And he is assigned to a unit of 6 elite footmen. I don't use the flexible roll, I think, because these guys are knights, so not a lot of flexibility in chainmail and plate mail. So they have, hang on, let me just look at the rules real quick. They got some cool special rules. They have fearsome, bloodthirsty, and countercharge. And I probably make that countercharge against infantry. I don't know, countercharging cavalry might be a little bit insane, but you know, I'm sure someone did it, but we'll go with countercharge against infantry if you're on foot. Next up is the elite cavalry unit of mounted knights, 6 guys. They have the fearsome, countercharge, drilled. I think they have bloodthirsty too. The drilled will get rid of the wild charge thing, so you don't have to worry about these guys taking off. They know what they're doing. They have a second unit of elite infantry, 6 men, and they basically just same as the Baron's bodyguard, but they don't have the Baron with them, so they've got the same rules. Both sides have 3 units of heavy footmen. There's one, and there's one with spears, and there's the third one. I missed. There he is, over there. They all have, well, the spearmen have wall of spears, and the other guys have shield wall. And that's about all they got. These guys are better in the defense, not as good as attacking. So that's your counter to the next group of guys. The warrior infantry for the Tymordens, like the footmen, they're a group of 12. Everything's 6s and 12s in this game, so that's kind of simplistic. And what are these? These guys got some silly rules. They get the wild charge. I'm going to pause for a second so my camera doesn't drift off while I look down at this paper. Wild charge, counter charge, fast, so they don't get slowed down in terrain. Fearsome, bloodthirsty, and they have shield wall. And there's 2 units of this, of the Immortals, and one of them has the, and I'll show you him right now, hang on. And they have the High Cleric with them, who will serve as the secondary commander for the Tymordens. So he'll have that +1 and 3 rerolls that he can dish out. And to wrap up the side, they've got a 6-man group of light infantry skirmishers. So they have that hard to hit and fast, and the skirmish moves. They have a range of, I think, 8 inches. They got the crossbowmen in here, which have the same rules, but they have a range of 12 inches with the crossbows. And then the final unit over there on the river are a group of 12 archers, and they have a range of 18 inches, but after 12 they pay a penalty. It's like a minus, they hit on 6s. So that's the forces of Tymorden. Everything will be identical on the Aurelian troops, so we'll just kind of take a look at them, and then the differences will be on the Berserkers of Odenheim. So Baron Levi Cummings is over there with his 6 foot knights. He's got his mounted knights to his right, and he's backed up by a group of heavy footmen there. Over here, hanging out by this farm, I'm trying to slide to the left here, a group of 12 berserkers of Odenheim. They're what are they called? Warrior infantry. And we'll go over their rules too when I show you the second group of 12. Big old axes. And they've got the warband leader with him, the secondary general right there. And these guys have flexible, wild charge, counter charge versus infantry, fast, armored, and bloodthirsty. So they don't have the shield wall, but they have an extra armor point. But when the immortals can form the shield wall, they get the extra point armor too. So they've got their skirmish crossbowmen there. They've got some other knights, their elite knights right there, the elite warriors. Their archers behind the wall. They've got a shield wall by that bridge. They've got their spear infantry up on the hill on the other side of the bridge, kind of in a neutral position. You've already seen those guys there. Hanging out in those trees, you've got some light infantry. And I think that might be it. Yeah, so cool. So point-wise, I think these guys have, I think the Eurilians have 59, which is nuts. And the Timordans actually have an extra 2 points from their leadership skill. So they have actually 61. So where a normal army is 24, we're kind of blowing that out of the water, but that's kind of what this channel does. It takes the normal and just makes it a little bit ridiculous. That's what I kind of do. Okay. I think that's it. I'll take a pause, and then we'll come back, and I'll probably think about what I missed, and we'll talk about it then. But hopefully we'll I got everything right. Terrain-wise, you can't cross there. That's rugged terrain. The woods are, you can't see through it. You get cover from it. Stone walls, the same thing. Farms can just block line of sight. We're not going to go inside and fortify them or like that. To conquer them, basically, you just got to be near the farm, and there's nobody within a foot of them. Not to conquer, but to hold. And we'll keep track of the points. Sounds like everything. Should be a good fight. I hope it's really good. I've seen a lot of other people do fights like this. I think I did one like this with black powder, that La Granja de Abundancia or something like that. I'm sorry for pronouncing that wrong. My Spanish is terrible. It's one of the scenarios in the Albion Triumphant 1 book about the Peninsular War. But it was very similar with taking and holding places and getting points. But, okay. Should be fun, and enjoy. Sit back, enjoy, get some minis, and do some painting. I want to get this knocked out, hopefully today, or finish up maybe tomorrow. That depends how well it goes. And then I'd like to spend the rest of the weekend painting Civil War guys. I've got to get those. I'll have a video hopefully on this, and then hopefully I'll be able to show all the main Union and Confederate infantry I've got done. I've already got the Confederates done. I just got to get the Union done. And then I can go on to my Zouaves, which shouldn't take as long because it's not as many of them. Okay, we'll see you guys. All right, the Barony of Swathford is up first. Yeah, that's right. Be right back after their movement phase. I'll tell you how wonderfully it probably didn't go. So everything was going quite swimmingly for the Eurilians. They were able to move their skirmish infantry up close to the bridge. The barbarians surged forward into the trees. Knights moved down the road. The lead infantry, the foot knights moved up, and so did the heavy foot infantry. But then we went over here and tried to move these heavy spear down the road towards that bridge to reinforce this side, and they failed their move. They were outside of 12 of any commander, and that brought their turn to a thrilling conclusion. Alright, the Timordans are moving, repositioning. They moved this infantry down from the hill and formed a spear wall, or wall of spears. Archers stayed where they were. They didn't want to move. Foot knights across the wall are going to get benefit of that wall for protection. These guys moved up to the edge of the hill, so they'll get the extra defense for being on top of a hill. elite cavalry move forward, starting to peel off the road, heading towards this direction. This group of immortals with the high cleric started moving towards, we'll say, the west. What the heck, because I'm standing here. These guys are switching positions. They're more defensive. It's like Swathford's going to try to defend this bridge and attack on that on the west side. West side! And skirmishers moved out. Late infantry moved out. Basically, it went really well for them. They were able to move everything they wanted to. They did have to burn one reroll of the 3, which might have been silly, on the high cleric, and the Baron used one of his 2 rerolls because he is the that better commander skill. So, but they're moving forward. Nice. The Aurelians did well as well. They got a skirmish unit onto the bridge just in time to get hit with arrows, but they are a skirmish unit. Their berserkers of Odenheim moved up behind those skirmishers. The knights on horseback and on foot are right here behind them, and then here comes some heavy footmen over on the west side. Heavy spear infantry moved onto the bridge. These guys just kept their wall the same they were defending that wall. Their skirmishers moved out of the trees and have taken a defensive formation on the getting defense from that wall as well. The knights moved out farther to the right, and the berserkers are shifting to counterattack. So we'll get some combat here shortly. Actually, right away on the other side, we'll get some right away. Should be good. Time Warden's up, whatever turn it is. Time Warden archers are going to attempt to fire on the skirmishers crossing the bridge. Let's see if they have the panache to do so. They need a 6+. They are not motivated. They're going to hold off. And there's nobody in reroll range, so that's the end of that turn. After that failure, there was no movement over here. They stayed the same. They stayed the same. The knights were moving farther off to the west. These heavy footmen are crossing over here. High cleric is taking his forces in, to reinforce this attack. Hopefully he gets there in time. And these guys are just moving ahead, getting closer and closer. They are probably in archery range. With the hard to hit, I'll have to measure that. If it's over 12 inches, of course, you can't shoot skirmishers, but those guys are a different story. These archers and crossbowmen are out of range of these gentlemen. Those guys are like at 14 or 15 inches, and they're at like 18, so... sorry, more than that. They're like at 20. So we'll just continue with the normal movement for the Aurelians. Aurelian light infantry did a skirmish move. They moved 4 inches. Now they're going to throw their javelins at these archers at half strength, if they can get the attack roll. They need a 7+. Oh, they get it. So they'll be throwing 6 javelins, hitting on 5s at these archers. So the plan for the archers, who have an armor of 2, was to get the benefit of that wall to increase their armor by 1, but the skirmishers are actually closer to it than they are, so they will lose 1 archer. Will have a javelin thrown right through his chest. He is gone. Besides that, everything else went pretty smooth. The berserkers moved onto the bridge. Mounted knights moved up. Heavy knights crossed over. The foot knights crossed over that wall. The heavy footmen falling behind a little bit, but keeping up. And then not a lot of movement over there. Besides, this berserkers keep shifting to the right. Oh, these guys moved off the bridge and are going to join the defensive line. All right, the Time Wardens over here kind of held their advance. They stayed out of range, but they're shifting their troops. They're probably, it looks like they're buying time for the rest of their guys to make it up to the front line. They can start their assault. But that's where we're at. You got the skirmish infantry there, the skirmish crossbowmen moving up. You got the immortals and the high cleric getting fired up back in the woods along the riverbank. And then the cavalry's moving up. Over here, the skirmish, the heavy spearmen moved up and then reformed the wall of spears. These gentlemen moved up to defend them. The knights moved in behind them so they can't get shot. The archers were able to step back, and then these other shield wall moved forward. So that's what we got going on right now. So they don't have anything to do. They burned up all their stuff moving, so there's no attacking for the Tymordans this time. So we'll go on to the Aurelians. All right, those skirmishers are going to try to jump over this wall and get out of the way of the berserkers. They need a 5+. Oh, making me stress. All right, it took their full move to get over that wall, take up a position on the river. Now I freeze up these guys. It won't be a wild charge because basically the skirmishers are blocking that phase of play. But they're going to try to attack into these guys, into the wall of spears, which never sounds like a great idea. They need a 5+. Oh, they're amped. They're going in. So the berserkers of Odenheim going in against the spear infantry. Oh, this should be a heck of a good fight. Let's roll some dice. Dang, that was crazy. All right, the berserkers are hitting on 3s. 6s are double because they're bloodthirsty. And they're armored, so and the wall of spears will get a +1 defense. Oh boy. So they got 9 kills or 9 hits. These guys' armor was 3, but with wall of spears it goes up to 4. So 2 of these guys are going to die. Heavy spear infantry hitting back on 4s against these guys. Ooh, that was good. So they hit 8. These guys have an armor of 3, so 2 of them are going to die. So it's going to be a draw. But I need to go back and look. I forgot to see 6s on the bloodthirsty thing, so I'm going to go back and watch the tape. We're going to do some VAR. So I went back and watched the tape, and they had 1 6. So they had 9 hits before, so they go up to 10, but they need 12 to kill 3 guys. So they still only kill 2 of the heavy spear infantry. So they're going to lose that battle. They're going to lose the fight, not the battle, and they're going to be pushed back 4 inches in the retreat. And then we'll do battered checks. We'll do some courage checks. So the heavy footmen have a -2 for their battered check. Looking for a 6 or greater. Oh, they're battered. The berserkers will also need a 6 or above. Oh, they love it. Barely. So the berserkers have fallen back or retreated. The heavy spear are battered. And then the knights have all moved up along with the heavy infantry. And we got these skirmishers on this side against the river. All right. Fun little turn. And these guys are just content to wait for the attack. At least for the moment. They want them in range of their missile troops. I've got a sweet little defense over here. All right, time for the Tymordans. All right, first up, we got a -2 courage check on these spearmen over here. Looking for a 6 or greater. Oh, yeah. The archers are going to fire on the berserkers on the bridge. They're at 12 inches, and they need a 6+ to attack. All right. They'll be hitting on 5s and 6s. They get 3 hits. The guys have an armor of 3, so guess what? A berserker is slain. normally be a -3 courage check for the berserkers, but the Baron is within 12 inches, so it's going to be a -2. Trying to keep it together here. Looking for a 6. Oh, they love it. All right, that's the end of the Time Morden turn. Aurelian's going to relaunch their whatever. Probably arrow attack. All right, Berserkers going back in again to attack the wall of spears. They need a 5+ to get on in there. Here we go. With the 6s, they get 12 hits. Armor 4, guess what? 3 spearmen are going to die. Heavy spear attacking back. Still have 12 dice, needing 4s. Uh-oh. Heavy spear are going to lose. They're going to retreat. They'll kill 1 barbarian as he comes on in. All right, courage checks for both of these groups. Heavy spear going to need a 9. Oh. Berserkers are going to need a 7. Oh no. Both units are battered. The knights have moved up onto the bridge. The other knights are getting towards that place. These guys are going to throw their spears at, or their javelins, excuse me, at the archers. I can check the range. They might have to do a move. What's it called? A skirmish move, where they move half if it's not 8 inches. They are in 8 inches. They'll need a 7+ to throw their javelins. I failed that, but there is a Baron there, and he's not a reroll yet. Oh, and that's the end of their turn. They didn't get a chance. That kind of sucks, because they didn't get a chance to move any of these guys down here, because they burned both their chances on that javelin attack. So that buys these guys time. Nice. Archers are going to try to pound the already shattered berserkers with arrows. And that's a shatter, not a batter. My fault. Archers need a 6+ to attack. Oh, they get it. 5s and 6s to pound the berserkers. They need a 9+ to not have massive issues here as they take another courage test. Oh no. I gotta look up those rules. So after being battered and then battered again, they lose a man. There is room to retreat. So they don't lose extra guys per inch. So they're back against the river bank there with not so many people left. Next up, these knights are going to try to charge the cavalry. Doesn't that sound exciting? They need a 5+ to attack. Oh. Absolutely insane. If you were looking at this just as an outside picture, you think, hey, these horsemen are riding these knights down, but the knights are attacking the horsemen. Let's see what happens. Well, first off, on a 7+, the cavalry can countercharge, which will change a lot of things. Can they get the counter? They do. All right, knights hitting on, what are they, hang on. Hitting on 3+ with 12 dice. They are fearsome and bloodthirsty. And basically the other guys are going to be exactly the same. Oof, no choke. So with the bloodthirst, they end up getting 11 hits. They're one short of getting the third knight, but they kill 2 mounted knights. With the countercharge, they're attacking too, hitting on 3s with fearsome and bloodthirsty. They do the same. So 2 of these foot knights are going to die as well. Even though they both charge, these guys initiate the attack, the foot knights, so they will have to retreat back 3 inches. Alright, now we got courage checks on both units. -2 for these gentlemen and -1 for them, for their Baron is right there. 5 for the foot knights. Oh, they love it. 4 for the mounted knights. Oh, they love it too. Barely. All right, first off, we've got these knights trying to go in for a charge, and these guys going in for a charge. Technically, they should have gone first. They have a wild charge. All right, wild charge, 5+. Oh, they're going in. Brutality. Here we go. Immortals of Shubia versus elite foot knights. Here's some bloodthirst. We're looking for lots of 6s. They get 8 hits, kill off 2 knights. The knights countercharge. Oh god, my chair almost broke. Sorry. So the Immortals don't have the armor to really back this up, so they only have an armor of 2. Even though the knights completely muffed that attack. No 6s and only 6 hits. They still killed 3 Immortals off, and they end up winning the combat. So we've got courage checks to do on both of these guys. The knights will be +2, needing a 5. Oh, they actually luck out. They have what's his name? Ragnarson's right over here. Uther Magnusson over here, within 12 inches. So they actually needed a 4. So they do not become battered. The Immortals need a 7. Oh, they make it. These knights will need a 5 to attack those gentlemen right there. They get it. Countercharge on 7. Oh, yeah. Oh, they're chopping each other up. Knight on knight. They're still at full strength. The unit just went through combat. Time Morgan's attacking. They kill 2 more Aurelian knights, dropping them down to 2. It's simultaneous to the Aurelian strike back at full strength. They get 9 hits, so that's 2 kills. There's the Baron is in there, so he'll have to make a roll and see if it's double 1, see if one of those guys that dies is actually him. Nope. So it's a draw on casualties. These guys have to retreat. They held them off. They held off 2 attacks, but there's only 2 guys left. Nice. All right, I gotta do some courage checks. Aurelians need a 6. Oh yeah. Timordans need a 4. Oh yeah. These skirmishers will try to throw javelins at those archers. 6+. Nope. They've already used their reroll, so there's nothing else they can do. Didn't get a chance to move these guys. Oof. Alright, first up, -7 rally check on these gentlemen. Oh, wow. They are no longer broken. Nice. The Berserkers of Odenheim have to try to not do a wild charge. But if they do, it's no big deal. They need an attack of 4, so they resist that. But guess what? They're attacking again. They're going to spend a reroll. They finally pull it off. The knights get to counter, or at least attempt to countercharge. Oh, they do. The knights meet the berserkers. Here we go again. Berserkers coming in hot. Berserkers score 12 hits, killing 3 of the knights. Oh, wow. What a home run. And the knights swing back and kill off 4 of the berserkers. Oh, wow. Chance both leaders are killed. Nope. Somehow the barbarians lose that fight. They lose 1 more guy. So, yay. -5 courage test for these gentlemen. Well, actually -4 with their leader. Oh, that's not good. -3 courage test for these guys. So they survive. We got to do a courage test. I'm not sure against what. Because the Baron fled the battlefield. I guess I'll just check it against 5. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how that works. If anybody knows, yeah, let me know. Wow. Just to check the courage on the warband. I guess they don't like their barons. They're just fine. All right, next up, I'm going to try to order these heavy knights to attack these foot knights, who can only countercharge against infantry, so they'll be at a disadvantage here. For 5+. Oh. So the knights come in against the foot knights. Here we go. They had 10 hits, killing 2 knights. 2 left. They were still at full strength, so they get to attack back at full strength, but they're not hitting as well. They get 7 hits. They kill 1 of the mounted knights. They're forced to retreat, and we'll do break tests. Or courage tests for both of them. And the other knights have moved up, along with the footmen. They're coming over the bridge, baby! A -4 courage test for these guys. Alright, they have a courage of 3, so that's great. They're fine, and now we'll do a -2 for these guys because they're barons right there. Need a 5 or greater. Oh yeah. These skirmishers will try to throw their javelins at these archers. 7+, but there's a reroll. If they need it, they're gonna need it. These guys screwed it up a couple times for the team. Oh, they make it. Hitting on 5. Ooh, nice roll. Archers have an army of 2, so they lose 2 more guys. Have to do a -3 break test on these guys. They'll need a 7 or greater. They will become battered. These archers are going to try to fire on these skirmishers right here. 6+. Oh, they get it. Inside 12 inches, so 5 to 6. Oh wow, they lose 3 skirmishers, so they got to do a -3 break test. Looking for 8s. Ooh, that's not gonna get it. So they're battered. Now these crossbowmen are trying to finish them off with a volley. There is a reroll with the Uther Magnusson right there within 12 inches. 7+. We do get a reroll. Oh yeah. They'll be hitting on 5s and 6s. Oh boy, home run. I wish I would have done that with some of the knights. That unit is wiped off the earth. What the heck? These knights are going to go out like a champ. They're like the Klingons of the Aurelian Empire. It's a good day to die. They're going to charge the Immortals. Or try to, at least. Oh, yeah. They just get 6 dice, but they get to die on their own terms, baby. They're going in hot. The Immortals get to attempt a countercharge. They don't. They get 3 hits, so they just kill one of the Immortals. On the defense, though, the Immortals only have 6+ to hit, so this could be tough for them. Oh, they hit the 2 6s. They technically only needed 1 6 with their bloodthirsty. They would have just killed 2 guys with 1 swing. But that's the end of those knights. They are killed outright. Still, the Immortals have to roll a -4 courage test because one of their guys got stabbed. 8+. Oh no, they incinerate. It was worth it for the knights. And that's the end of the Aurelian turn. They are really doing well for once. They're pushed across that bridge. They've got a little beachhead going on. Got a little bit of a blank in the middle here, of course. And then they have repulsed this attack down here. Just a couple crossmen out here running around, dancing around out in the field, getting shot at. Oh. But they do have 2 more units coming up. Timorden turn. Got to start with a -5 rally check here. I do great at these. Yay. Looking for a 9. Oh my gosh, I got it. I'm super excited. Now we got to jump over here and do a -3 on these guys. Looking for a 7. Ah. They'll fall back 3 inches, remain battered, lose a guy, and they're inoperable this turn. Oh, do some movement here. Hopefully they can do some shifting. What's left of the foot knights move back. The 2 shield walls successfully advanced. That wall of spears is still intact, but they can't move this turn. But at least they're free of their battered status. And the other one slid down the hill here. And of course the archers we covered a minute ago. They're making their last stand. The High Cleric is advancing across the corpses of his brethren over here. These crossmen, the last unit to go, they're going to fire their crossbow bolts at the archers. 7 to engage. They will. Archers have that wall, so they have an extra +1 to armor on their 3. They got 4 hits, they kill 1 archer. -1 courage check for the archer. Oh, they love it. That's the end of the Timorden turn. Oh. Alright, Aurelians. It's time for the coup de grace. Let's finish these boys off. Let's get the first win for their dukedom. Alright, Uther's moving his berserkers forward to... He's not one to sit back. He's going to meet them on the field of battle. We're trying to do the archers first, shooting at these skirmishers, and then the crossbow firing at them too. 6+ for the archers. Oh, they love it. Hitting them on 5s and 6s. Holy crap, they killed 5 of them. -5 courage test. Ugh. Big shocker, that guy's battered after 5 of his buddies get skewered. Now he's going to get pummeled with a bunch more crossbow bolts from these guys. 7+ to attack, but Uther's right there for a reroll. They're going for it. Uther's down to 1 reroll. There we go. Let's see if this guy's like Mr. Anderson. 5 or a 6 and he is dead. He's killed a couple times. Oh, I forgot to check a wild charge on these guys. Oh, I need to do that. Oh yeah, they're going in. They've only got 5 guys left, but they're going in. They got heart, man. 6 dice against the wall of spears. Oh no. That's terrible. They get 1 hit and bounce off the wall of spears. Spears stabbing them. Must die. 2 more berserkers die. They get to try to pass the always easy -9 courage test. Wow. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. They're battered, but they're they're there. Amazing. The mounted knights are going to try to charge the shield wall straight ahead, and then the foot knights are going to attack the wall of spears. They're going for it. Mounted knights go in. Yeah, they go in. Foot knights. I think they have 5. Mounted knights still have 12 attacks with 3 guys going in against the shield wall. Oh man! We killed 2 of the footmen. Footmen attacking back. They're only able to kill 1 knight, so they are forced back to retreat. Could do break tests for both of these guys. -3 for the mounted knights. Oh, that's not good. So those knights are sitting there battered. The Baron leads his attack against the wall of spears. Kills 2 of the spearmen. Spearmen attacking back, needing 4s. They're only able to kill 1 of the knights. So the spear infantry are pushed back to the ridge, and now we've got to do a courage test for both units. -7 for these guys. Good luck, baby! Well, they're gonna be battered, but not run off the table. Foot knights have an even test. They had a courage of 3, so they're just fine. That's the end of the Aurelian turn. Time for Team Time Warden. Over here, the High Cleric has moved up his immortals and formed a shield wall at the top of the hill, hoping the wild charge is irresistible to these guys. And the mounted knights getting close to combat. Try a -7 rally test on these guys. Oh, bye-bye. Do a rally on these archers. -4. Oh, they're gonna stay busted. They fall back even farther, and another guy takes off and runs back home to mommy. Don't blame him. Woo, no. Medieval combat's no joke. And these foot knights are going to go out like a boss. They're going to charge the battered mounted knights. Oh yeah. Casualties are mounting up. I can zoom in on the Aurelians over there. They're doing a little better. I'm going to simultaneously roll this bad boy. They both get 6 attacks, except the mounted knights are hitting on 6s and the other guys are hitting on 3s. The foot knights will kill off 1 more of the mounted knights, and they've got to do another courage check to see if they stick around at -4. Oh yeah. You know, the mounted knight didn't really want to block those guys, so he moved off to the side, but unfortunately the shield wall has a chance to move forward and attack him now. No, really go in those tight quarters. Oh, shield wall is eager. Knight going out with a bang on Olympus. Oh, he can't kill anybody. Shield wall trying to finish him off. Needing 5s and 6s. Oh, they cut him out of the saddle and just beat him to death. Poor guy. Sorry, buddy. Toast. Alright, first up, Berserkers have to try to pull off the insane -9 or -8, excuse me. They got a Baron right near them, excuse me. Courage check. Oh, the end of the road. They did awesome. They hung out for a long time. The uphill wild charge check against the shield wall. Oh, they can't stop themselves. Let's see what they can. Let's see if actually they can stop themselves. Oh, they love it. They're going in. Classic enemies fighting again. The Immortals of Shubia against the Berserkers of Odenheim. These guys got the high ground. Oh. See if they can pull off the counter charge. Yeah, they do. Oh, it makes it even worse. Berserkers. They get 10 hits and kill 2 of the Immortals. The Immortals hit back with 11 hits, killing 3 of the Berserkers. Berserkers lose and fall back. Let's see if Uther got hit, and they have a -7 courage test, or -6, excuse me, with Uther. Uther's great. -6 courage test. Ooh, right there they're battered, aren't they? Yep. -1 courage check for the Immortals. Oh, they love it. Foot Knights are going to try to attack their, you know who? The other Foot Knights. And those heavy footmen have crossed over and have formed a shield wall at the bottom of the hill. These Knights will try to countercharge. Oh yeah. He really is attacking. Oh, that'll wipe the unit out. Ty Morton's attacking back. They kill 1 Foot Knight. With that kill, the Aurelians have killed off over half the points of the Ty Mortons. Oh, do a break test here. Oh no. That's probably realistic. They've lost their Baron. They've lost both their Foot Knights. Got a whole unit of Immortals wiped out, a whole unit of heavy foot infantry. They got regular footmen going up against Knights and another shield wall, and then a skirmisher's about to chop up a couple of these guys. Over here is just not looking good. I mean, they'll kill off the Berserkers, but they'll probably get fighting against all this stuff in kind of cover. It's going to be just such a blast. They won't survive. So that's the end of the battle. It was a good battle. I liked it. It was fun. A little bit different, and but it was very entertaining. Love the medieval combat. All right, next time we go back to the Charc campaign and go back to Infamy. Plan on switching back and forth a little bit just to play both rule sets. And yeah, but I got to paint some 28mm Perry ACWs. I got to get on that. I've been playing so much, I haven't painted as much. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you soon, and take care now.